All right. So welcome to the Boruto podcast. This is our first episode on the X space on the Blue Vortex Twitter community. Shout out to everyone that showed up. Shout out to Assad for making this all happen. So we are here today to do the chapter 19 review, and we are live. We are recording. So we start off this chapter on the first page. It's called Konohamaru-chan, and we have a cool picture of Moegi. And it's just beautiful, and she looks the best she's ever looked ever. Shout out to Ikimoto.
I swear, when I seen that, I was like, I don't remember her looking this good. Like, I did not remember her looking this good.
Right? No,
they look radiant. I don't know why. Like glow. You know that
glazing,
glow that people talk about? It's that glow up right there.
Yeah, glow up.
I don't know. I think it might be the eyes, though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Shout out Assad. Jaro says shout out Assad in the chat. So moving on to the next page, page 2. So we see Shinki is literally putting his chakra onto this blade. So he says to Arya, he says, that should do it. Go on, take it. And Arya says, what would you do? And Shinki says, I infused the blade with my chakra. If you apply your wind style sword jutsu to it, you should be able to manipulate iron sand somewhat, similar to how I can. That's crazy. So he just implemented his it's like a Kekkei Genkai with his chakra into a weapon.
Well, I think it just the weapon does it. I don't know, because I didn't catch this on the first read because it was not even a spelling error, but loss in translation. So the attacks and all like the stuff that he does with the sword, he calls it the lodestone. DSTONE, right? But it's actually supposed to be LODESTONE, right? So lodestone. And lodestone in real life is a real mineral / rock, whatever you want to call it, that has magnetic properties, specifically with iron. So iron sand, So I didn't catch that on the first read because of they've messed up the wording a little bit. It was LOAD instead of LODE. But the sword, if it's made out of lodestone, literally lodestone, like in real life, it has magnetic properties, or it should have, because in real life it does, magnetic properties to attract iron. And it's right now being used as the ultimate counter. So I wonder if they knew. They had to have known, because nothing is written for no reason. But they picked lodestone, and it's black too. It's a black sword, like Tanjiro.
They're clever with it.
I like it.
They were real clever.
Yeah.
But I think this is very interesting because I don't know if we've seen much of this before, of like someone infusing their chakra of their ability, technically like their Kekkei Genkai, into a weapon. But I see what you're saying with the magnetic properties of the material.
Yeah, Sasuke does it.
The samurai do it too. Well, they infuse their chakra in their sword. That's their fight.
Yeah, same with the samurai. They could do the little beam of light attack from Mifune.
Yeah.
Or slice. I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, Young Lord, I see you in the chat. You said, "Do you guys think Konohamaru is cooked?" I think so. If Boruto doesn't show up, but we'll get back. We'll get into that later in the chapter.
Nah, let's be honest. Konohamaru gonna do something. He gonna do something to get out of that situation. He's not just gonna be taken out just like that. But we gonna see.
Okay, so on the next page, page 3, we see Arya holding the sword. He looks badass. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This whole panel just looks badass. But he says, "You sure about this? You'll have no chance against me when we spar." And Shinki says, "Give me a break. If anything, this will be the perfect handicap." And Arya is like, okay, we'll see about that. And Shinki looks over. They're on top of the rooftop, and they're looking down, and they see who is it? Yodo, Gara, and he says it's they're just talking to each other, but it shows them, and it says I think Shinki's talking, and he says it's all for the purpose of protecting Father better. That's why I want to expand our powers as much as possible. And Arya says, "Father this, father that. All you talk about is your adopted father." And Shiki says, "Of course. What's wrong with that?" And when I was reading this made me think of like, wow, that's so similar to Kawaki. Like he got adopted and wants nothing else to do but protect his adopted father. It's really
It's
similar.
Yeah, but when you look at the situations, Kawaki is like he's not trying to get anybody else to do. He's trying to do it alone. While Shinki, on the other hand, is literally asking his teammates for help.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just Stockholm syndrome. Y'all know Stockholm syndrome? Or not Stockholm. What is it? It's the other one with the nurse, where her patients like grow an attachment to her because of her nursing them and nurturing them. But I'm pretty sure this is just going with that, whatever the syndrome is called. I don't think it's Stockholm, because Stockholm might be the one with the kidnapper. But whichever one, though, it's good to see that they're doing the whole spectrum of what could it be. It could just be, as in part 1 of Boruto in Naruto Next Generation, as Amato and Shikamaru were talking about, where it's the thin line. They talk about the thin line between obsession and, I think he said, love. He might have said another word like in place of love, but to the same to the same purpose. They're talking about the obsession, which is Kawaki, and then love, which would be, in this case, Shinki. He loves his father because he saved him. From what? I don't know. But in that little flashback that we find out, he's his adopted son, not biological. Because for the longest, some people thought he was biological. His adopted son, he just like is losing control over his powers. He's a threat to the people around him. And then Gara just, gives him with that little hug. And then he's like, "I'll protect you," or whatever he said.
Yeah. So, okay, moving on to page 4. So they're still talking, and Arya says, you should pay Yoda some attention too. And Shinki says, who's a hypocrite now? All you talk about is Yoda. And it's just a close up of Arya's face, and then it goes a little close up of Yodo. And that kind of, just that conversation of them literally singling out Yodo is making me feel like maybe something might happen to Yodo. I don't know.
What was the close call? Oh, never mind. We're reading the chapter.
Okay. And then on to page 5. Arya says, "It's not like that." And then instantly it hits back from the flashback straight into the fighting. And it shows Arya instantly doing lodestone sand sealing blade. And we see he cut the iron sand that was holding Mitsuki off. This is like an epic scene. This has to be epic when it gets animated. So on to the next page, page 6. Sarada says, "Nice. The iron sand restraining Mitsuki has been dispelled too." And Mitsuki says, "Thank you, Arya." So we see now we got the team pulled up: Yodo, Arya, Sarada, and Mitsuki all in one panel, and then across the field is Ryu. And this has to be so epic, I'm telling you, when it gets animated. So Arya says, "Give your thanks to Shinki. after we've rescued him. And on the next page, he says, Mitsuki, Sarda, you two focus on attacking him. I'll take care of his iron sand for you. So it seems like they got a plan. Sarda's like, Roger that, let's go.
You know what? I just remembered. I don't know where I seen this. It might have just been on some tweet. But there was, or maybe a YouTube comment. There was some video where it was showcasing the teamwork that everybody has, right? Even if it's not within their own team, like team, I guess they call them Shinki because we don't know their number, and team 7 without Boruto, obviously, where they could just gel. They always gel because it's not really like a hierarchy because it's really more like respect, right? The only tuning up level person would be Shinki, and Shinki's gone. So without the leader, they got to fall in line, right? And because they fall in line, normally you would have some type of bickering, especially if it's not within your own team. But they just say, come on, let's do it. Whatever it is, let's do it. And there was a comment where this person said they don't like how it's 1v1s in that teamwork. But the plan is literally for one of them to not do something, to set up something for the other one. It's an alley-oop. And I just seen a video of a tweet or a comment, whatever, saying that they don't like that 1v1v1. They want a jumping. They want like 4v1 or however many people would be on the battlefield. And I think that's just a bad complaint. Because it's better, way better, for it to actually be structured of a coordinated attack, you know. But
so continuing on page 7 at the bottom, there's a panel of Ryu, and Ryu says, well, aren't you being awfully confident? I see you're totally dissing me, but that's okay. And moving on to the next page, this, guys, warning, when you hit page 8, it's absolutely crazy. So page 8, Ryu goes nuts. He says, cause it's pumping me up more. And it just shows him going crazy with the Iron Sand and then attacking the team. And Araya on the next page, page 9, he is just cutting up all that Iron Sand. And we see it flying everywhere. What?
Or was Shinki not like this before? Because in the flashback, he said, you totally dissing me right now, right? I never heard him talk like that before. I could have swore he's the serious type. He's one of those.
Yeah.
But
well, it's different because it's
now he's talking about dissing, and then the clone, what's his name? Ryu is doing the same. I wonder if it's some like character shift, where he's more relaxed, more of a chill guy, like the chill guy meme. Because the only thing I could think of attributing it to is the time skip, right? We don't know what happened then, so maybe they, I don't know, because clearly he had to do something. Because now there's this thing of him trying to protect father better from what, you know? Obviously, he just means any type of threat, but
yeah, it
has to be something like that. Because I always saw him as the serious type, the barely talks, man a few words type.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much because it's the Shinju beast. It's learning new stuff.
No, even the Shinju acts like Shinki, but Shinki acts different now. So I wonder if it's any explanation coming to that.
I see what you're saying. Maybe there is.
It could just be maturity, right? Yeah. It could just be maturity because he's 3 years older now since the last time we saw him before the time skip.
Yeah. But, okay.
I don't know.
So moving on to page 10, we see this is after Arya sliced up all the iron sand around them, and Yodo calls out from 7 o'clock incoming, and we see iron sand coming out from the ground. On the next page, we see Arya slicing up the iron sand, and it just shows their teamwork going. Ryu says, "I see you're not just all talk," and then bam, we see Sarda doing some hand signs. On the next page, instantly fire style fireball jutsu, and Ryu blocks it with iron sand like a wall. And then
You mean Phoenix Flower?
Phoenix? No, it says right here
No,
translation.
it's fireball jutsu.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then on page 13, we see Mitsuki, while Ryu has the wall of iron sand in front of him, Mitsuki pulls up some snakes from the ground. It grabs a hold of Ryu, which
that's a callback to their Chunin exam fight with Mitsuki and Shinki.
Wow.
He did the same thing. He throws out, well, Sarada wasn't there obviously because it was a 1v1, but a projectile gets blocked with a sand shield. Mitsuki's was some snakes. It was some snakes that he just threw at the wall so then he could get his wall up, and then he went from underneath and then pulled them. I think he called it a Great Snake Burial or something like that.
Do you know?
So it's a callback to that.
Do you know what episode
where
that
he
is?
did it in?
Yeah,
it was the fight episode. It was their episode in the Chunin exams when they fought.
Which is crazy.
It was
because they didn't even show that in the
50.
manga. Pretty sure they didn't.
They might.
No, they didn't even show. Actually, they didn't show the Shinki versus Mitsuki.
No. It was just like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm tripping because the branching was
another
different.
reason why I say the anime is better. But that's
True.
another that's a topic for another day though.
For sure.
But yeah, it's a callback to that when they did that before in the anime, which I think is cool.
That is pretty. No, that's always cool, and good find, good call out on that.
Or it's a coincidence.
Maybe. No, I mean, I don't know. I think
it's always for a reason.
Yeah.
I'd just say it's a coincidence because there's people that want to be contrary and like it's not why.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Ikimoto, him damn self, talks about whenever he watches the anime, he's like, damn, they do it so cool. He just wants to be as cool as that. But,
Yeah. So we see Mitsuki's snakes grab a hold of Ryu. And on the next page, we see Mitsuki with his Sage mode and the horn in his head. He looks absolutely crazy.
Bro, giving him aura, bro. Well,
for real.
Actually, Mitsuki been had aura, but
he
aura coming right here, though.
Yes. Mitsuki always had aura. So we see him just going crazy, and then he starts throwing his snakes to attack Ryu, and Ryu literally disappears into just pieces of iron sand in the atmosphere, in the air. So on the next page, page 16, Yodo's like, you got him? And Mitsuki says, no, not at all. He disintegrated himself and evaded my attack. It seems he can turn himself into iron sand too. And
that people were trying to, I don't know if it's just they forgot, but I think they misinterpreted that. When he means two, like he can turn himself into iron sand too, it's because Mitsuki, this is why the anime is better, it's because Mitsuki had the same thing happen to him with Shinki in the Chunin exams. He too turned into sand. He even reformed right after. It was some attack. I forget what the attack was. It might have just been like some snakes because, Mitsuki be spamming them snakes. But he is talking about, he can do absolutely everything Shinki can do. That's what they mean by two. It's the same with Hidari. Back when Hidari was fighting and he kept doing the stuff that Sasuke was doing. And then it was the, leading up to the reveal, Sasuke has been put in a tree. That's what they mean by two. They mean, or not they mean, but they're finding out that whatever the guy that gets put in the tree, the Shinju can do too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the next page, page 16, or this is the current page we're on, Arya says, "Be careful, he'll control your bodies again." And we see Iron Sand everywhere, and Yodo is crazy with the shots. She
Good
says
comms, good comms.
she says it's faint, but at 2 o'clock. And she says, "I can hear sand grains rubbing together." And on the next page, page 17, Sarda is like sweating, and they say, "I think that's where he is." And Arya has the blade, and this looks absolutely epic. It's like glowing with chakra. And he uses the move Lodestone Sand Sealing Blade, and he hits it right there where the iron sand was clumping up. Or he's using, it's a sealing, so he's sealing it or something.
Yeah. Well, it could also be because you could use seals to seal, and then you do seals to unseal or to disrupt, whatever. It's like Konohamaru did when Kashin Koji had him in that little lightning move. I don't know what he called it again, but it was when they first met, back in like the 180s area, 190 area of the anime. He puts him in the little like electricity restraint jutsu move, and then Konohamaru's like, "Ha!" and he opens his stomach and it has a seal on him. So, and then he gets out of it. So it could be that seal attack is one of those. It's one of those that dispel. So it's literally a dispelling seal instead of it's sealing it within. Because as we know, right, you can't have infinite storage like Naruto proved with Delta. You can, but not certain people, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'd have to be the exclusions. So if he's sealing it, and it's Arya, he's not a alien. He's just a regular human ninja, right? So unless he's sending it somewhere we don't know, I don't think he's sealing it within something. I think he's using a sealing attack that dispels, which would make sense.
Yeah. Just remember, guys, you can talk in the chat here. I'm reading some of your messages. Victoria's still talking about how fine Moegi looks on the chapter 19 cover. So so on page 18, we see Ryu says, "What the? He can gather up iron sand as well." So like it's like one after another. Ryu keeps taking L's. And Arya says, "Go for it." And Mitsuki shoots his snakes out, and he attacks Ryu, and he gets him. So on the next page, page 20, we see Sarada, and instantly Sarada comes in. "You're not getting away," and of course she has a Chidori, and she hits him with a Chidori, and the Chidori. First, I always notice it always hits in the same spot of the body. Sarada, at least, always hits the same spot. We've seen it with Boro. And
I mean, that's the best way, right? It's a piercing attack, so you want to get center mass or near center mass as close as possible.
Yeah,
because if you hit an arm, what that gonna do? He just gonna regen the arm.
For real.
But
yeah,
same with who she did it to the first time with Boro.
Yeah,
he's just gonna regen everything.
Yeah,
so gotta hit center mass, and the center of mass for Boro was that ball, so she had to aim for that. And she knew where it was. She tracked
Sharingan, yeah. Yeah. But page 21, we see so it looks like Ryu, like it says sploosh. So it seems like Ryu splooshed into pieces of sand. And Yoda's like, "You got him?" And Sarada says, "No, it was too shallow. He just turned himself into sand and hid again." Mitsuki says, "Damn it."
Yeah.
Arya says, "We'll track him down to the ends of the earth." So, moving on to the next page, 22. This is a new scene. We are back with Konohamaru and Matsuri, but this is also the main point of the chapter because it is called Konohamaru-chan. Check.
You know, I just thought about it. That lightning jutsu would be very effective on him because lightning is effective on Earth, right? If I remember correctly, lightning is effective on Earth style moves.
You think Sarada's gonna pull something crazy, like a crazy move?
No, that's why she was like, nah, it was too shallow. Because it should be really effective. If I remember correctly, lightning cancels out Earth. Because that's what Sasuke did to Datara. Sasuke's lightning, Datara's Earth. Really clay, but Earth. I don't know if it works that way with iron sand, though. Because the only other iron sand or any other metallic sand was the gold sand with the Kazekage of past.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it would be more advantageous because they have at least 2 lightning users, right? 2 of the 4 that are fighting right now.
Yes, Mitsuki and Sarada.
They got Mitsuki and Sarada, and then Araya, she's sound. It would be cool if they do that thing with sound and sand. You ever see those videos of people messing with sand through sound?
Yes.
Like they put sand in a little plate and then they push sound into it and it just moves all the sand.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to be part of it because Yodo hasn't done much right now. Like she
can feel vibrations. That's kind of like a hint, though, right? She can feel
that's what I'm saying.
vibrations
But
on the
in
ground.
terms of offense,
Yeah,
not just support, but actually, attacking basically.
Yeah.
She's right now just support.
By the way,
so I'm wondering if they're gonna set that up with a sound-based, lightning-based attack to finish them off. Because the only thing we've seen that could finish off a Shinju is Uzuhiko, and that's not even the full version of it.
Yeah.
He said, "Damn, just a little bit more," and it obliterated him.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, Big O was saying Mangekyo on the way. I wonder, do you think we will see that soon? Maybe in this fight, Mangekyo, or that's saved for later?
Yeah, I think it's later too.
Sorry about that, Big O. Maybe it's not so soon.
Well, hey, he could be right.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
But I just think it's later.
What up, man, Chin? All right, so on to page 22, this next scene with Konohamaru and Matsuri. So it starts off with Matsuri yelling at Konohamaru. This is what a crazy panel. She's saying, I just want to call you Konohamaru-chan. What's the big deal? And Konohamaru is like, I told you already, I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. And her hair, or it seems like the tree matter, or because no, it's her cloak. Because Moegi was a wood style user, so I think that's pretty cool. We get to see some wood style. And Moegi has her cloak around Konohamaru's head as like tree branches, and she says, "And yet you let that wrench Moegi call you that? It's so unfair. I can't change how I feel, and I shouldn't have to explain myself either." And I thought it was really funny that she said she called Moegi a wench, but the translation was wench. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. You think it was another word that sounds like it?
You think?
Nah, because I don't think they could do that unless it's like rated R or PG-13. Because I know in PG-13 movies you can only say one curse word. So, but it'd be funny if it was
right.
And it basically means the same. Wench is really just how hurt are you by being called that at that point.
Yeah, I thought it's funny though.
Yeah.
But on page 23, she's still yelling at Konohamaru. I think this whole scene right here is just. I think it's going to be really iconic and funny, and I think a lot of memes that might come out of this. But she says, "How can you be so selfish? Just let me call you what I want." And he's like, you are the one being selfish. Why are you so fussy over what to call me anyway. And she stops. She's like, fussy, hypocrite. And she just loses it when he says fussy. And she says, you're the picky one, Sarutobi.
Yeah.
And he's
You
like
know
in
what
a
I think it
pickle.
is?
What?
I think it's he doesn't know what love is, Konohamaru, in that sense, like between one person and another. Because he knows love, like, you know, oh yeah, you my guy, but he don't know love. And it dawned on me, Boruto was teaching him about that.
He was.
Boruto was teaching him about that. And who taught Boruto?
Yeah, it was Chocho.
So it's just real funny whenever. So there was this arc in the anime, of course, where Konohamaru meets this princess of another foreign land or village, whatever. And he saves the princess because he thinks the princess is in danger. They're like, what happened? And she's like, oh, I'm just, you know, going out or whatever. They take her back. And then Konohamaru is like, oh, well, can't do nothing about that. That's them. That's diplomatic. Can't get in there and mess stuff up. And then Boruto's like, hold on. You ain't even gonna do nothing. And then he finds an excuse, right, to go and interact some more with them. So she leaves her bobby pin, or I don't know, the thing in the hair, right? I don't know what it's called. A pick, maybe a
hair
pick,
clip, I think, or a hairpin clip, probably.
Yeah, a hair clip, pick, I don't know, but whatever it is, right? It's the thing that holds memories, but in the later part of the arc. So Konohamaru he's oblivious. He don't know. But Boruto realizes, oh, it's something here. So he's literally dragging him. Come on, let's do this. They get on their little adventure, whatever. And then by the end, Boruto's like, come on, tell her how you feel and shit, right? And then Konohamaru's like, nah, I'm good. I'm good off that, right? But it was Boruto trying to teach him more about that type of love. And he only found that out because of Chocho. So Chocho taught Boruto about that type of love, which is why, most likely, right, some people are thinking this is why he's acting the way he is in this chapter. Because he's starting to realize this is more than just camaraderie and worry over friends. It's deeper than that. But Chocho goes to a movie theater. They have movie theaters now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because they've been had television and computer screens, but now they got literal movie theaters, and they make movies too. It's not just, oh, it's a movie theater and they just, you know how sometimes in some media, most likely fiction, they have rip-off versions of real movies in that movie, like, I don't know, rip-off Avengers, and it's the Seven, right? Like in The Boys, where they have the movie being made in it. But they go to a movie theater, and it's a movie of romance. I don't know what exactly, but it's a romance movie. Boruto was dumbfounded because he didn't know nothing about it. He just, oh, why didn't he? So part of the movie was the main male lead, isn't trying to, or well, wants to confess, but doesn't confess the feelings to the main female lead, right? This is the same movie, if y'all don't know, this is the same movie that Hinata was crying at the dinner table at the house when she was like, oh, it's so sad. Why does he have to be the one to leave? Foreshadowing Boruto leaving. That is the same movie franchise. I don't know if it's the same movie or franchise, but Boruto's watching the movie and he's like, why didn't he just tell her how he feels? Or no, he was questioning something about the decision of this guy because he wasn't forthcoming with how he was feeling. So then Chocho was like, what? It was because they were in love. you didn't see that? And then she was like, matter of fact, we going back. We about to watch it again, and I'm gonna show you. So Chocho taught him to pick up on the signs of, oh, they like each other more than just friends. And then he picks that up on Konohamaru and Remen, the princess of the foreign land. And then he tries to get Konohamaru to figure it out. But as we see with Matsuri, he doesn't. He doesn't even know why she's doing all this, talking about why you so fussy. You should have paid attention. Boruto was trying to give you the signs. But
so yeah. Some comments from the chat. So Soniku said he knows what love is, he just doesn't know how to express it properly. Tana,
exactly. Huh? That's what I'm saying.
Tana said
he doesn't know how to express it. Boruto didn't know until Chocho literally made him rewatch the movie and show him. And then Boruto, it didn't work. Boruto's was trying to push him that way, and no, they had to go apart. Especially since at the end of the arc, she literally lost her memories for the sake of the village. Or well, of her land. Not the village, but her village. She lost her memory, so it really wouldn't even have mattered if he confessed. But either way, he didn't, you know?
Yeah. So then Tana says Konohamaru likes Moegi and has the proper relationship to call each other Chan. Matsuri just met him. Yeah, that also can be part of it. Off-bomb Burlo said shout out to Boruto fan. I guess they're a fan of yours. I've seen you on TikTok.
Yo, appreciate it. Thanks. It was good, bro.
Raisin said, to be fair, they did have movie theaters back in Naruto's childhood in movie 1. I do remember watching that. So
yeah. But I'm talking about like real
it's
movie
upgraded.
Like it looks like my local movie theater on the inside. We never saw the inside of it. I don't think
it's right? Probably upgraded, yeah.
And if it was, it wasn't that modern. So like they have red seats. They have those red letter seats now. So I just thought it was
cool. We will be moving on to page 24, but I do want to say real quick on page 22, the scene where Matsuri and Konohamaru are sitting right there. That angle, I gotta say, Boruto community, you guys were glazing Matsuri at that angle, seeing her from that angle. You guys are crazy.
Bro, her face is nasty, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. Especially when she talking about what's the big deal, yelling in my face, showing all those vampire teeth. Bro, get up my face, bro. Get up my face. Oh my gosh.
That's
Konohamaru seeing the worst of it too, because it's covering his whole upper body. He can't see nothing but her and the branches, the arm tentacle things.
Yeah. So we're on the page 24, and this is something that I don't think got in the leaks. This is a pretty cool panel. So here we see Ada is actually watching Konohamaru interact with Matsuri, and she says, I think the issue isn't what she wants to call you so much as it is that you don't share a relationship that allows it, but that's beyond you, isn't it, Konohamaru-chan? So she's basically saying like there's no helping it, Konohamaru. And through that, Ada's talking with Kashin Koji, so we're on page 25. Because through Kashin Koji's pre-science, I think that they're able to talk to each other somehow. But Kashin Koji says, Ada, what's the situation? Ada says, Konohamaru's in a pinch. He royally pissed off Matsuri and is about to get devoured. Kashin Koji says, what about Sarda and others? And Boruto says, can they take down Ryu? And
hold on, I just thought about really how cool them communicating is. So think about it.
They're all singularities. They're all singularities of fate. So that's how they're able to do that.
No, not even that. Think about it like quite literally. He asks a question currently, and then a little bit of time goes by, right? Because that's how conversation works. It's boom, 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 back and forth, right? A time goes by. She goes back in time to look, not literally back in time, but like she looks back in time to when he said that question. she answers, right? And then that answer is in the future. It's past, right? It's after him asking the question. So he looks at the future for when she responds.
Wait. I just realized something.
You don't think that's cool?
I don't think a lot of people seen it. Look at Ada's hair on the panel under where Koji asked the situation.
The frog?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the frog.
I didn't notice that. Am I blind?
Well, now you know.
Bro, I did not notice that, bro.
It is.
That's how they answered, or that's how they talked, probably.
Yeah.
Whenever they first met, like whenever he was like in the previous chapters, he was like, "I know you'll see this at some point, Ada." When it was the him and younger Boruto, not like 12, 12-year-old, but like 13 or 14 after, So that just is cool. He can literally look at the future, and then she could look at the past, and they could make it seem as if they're talking in the present because of how their powers work. So even if a frog isn't there, he can still do that.
Bro, yeah. I thought right here he was literally looking into the future. I thought oh my God.
Oh, you thought she was looking in the future? No,
bro, I thought she was watching
right now
him.
It's the frog. It's been the frog since Shikamaru figured it out. Remember Shikamaru? He was like, who are you working with? Or who are you talking to? Whatever. And then he said, hold on, isn't it? And then he said, yes, you're quite smart, or some shit like that. And yeah, it's me, Kashin Koji.
Oh my God, I didn't notice that, bro.
You gotta also remember, in the previous chapters, Kashin Koji was telling Boruto, like, they're all singularities of fate, and that even if there's a situation going on, that Boruto cannot go out there and help because he will die or put himself at risk. So it's kind of getting a little hot in this situation right here on page 25. So if we continue, Boruto's like, can they take down Ryu? And Ada says they're holding their own, but it's still too early to tell how things will end. So they're in no position to go help Konohamaru right now. And Kashin Koji says, I know you want to rush over there, but don't. Now is not the time. So this is like the previous chapters.
Bro, that's why Boruto is the GOAT, bro. He don't care. First of all,
for real.
The only thing stopping Boruto right now is that they need him. Because he does not care if he dies. If he dies saving people, he does not care. This is why Boruto, Uzumaki, Drip Drip, Otsutsuki, the greatest character in all of fiction. There is nobody better than him.
Bruh.
Nobody.
Drip Drip. I mean, true. He's got the Uchiha drip. So on to page 26. So now the scene switches to some of the Shinjus. We got Jura, Hidari, and what was Bugs Shinju?
Mama Sushi or
Mama
Mamushi.
Sushi.
Oh yeah, Mamushi. I was like Mama Sushi.
So Jura says, ideally, in my own opinion, life forms should obey their instincts to strive towards the goal known as evolution. Which this literally sounds like AI, literally. And he says, yet because of their social nature, humans bind themselves with restraints called reasoning, dulling that instinct. And Jura continues to say, it's a harmful side effect of acquiring intelligence. And it's why humankind carries a fatal flaw, unlike us divine trees who stay true to our instincts. I think that's a lot of important information about the Shinjus that Jura is giving us. And then Mamushi says, I see, poor humans, but it's got nothing to do with us. I think that character, Mamushi is a great character, really funny. When he gets animated, I think he's going to be really comedic, maybe. And then on page 27, Jura says, not so fast. For that isn't the only harmful effect of intelligence. This other concept carries with it the risk of causing even us divine trees serious problems. He says it's called love. And that's huge.
It's even bolded.
And how can Jura confidently confirm this in the first place?
Yeah, he's speaking from a sense where like he's already done this. He's already been through this. That's why he knows so much. But yet he's also looking for that knowledge. Right? That's why he's at the bookstores talking about I know the more answers we get, the more questions we get, or whatever it was. Whenever he was talking about some now why is that? Looking at Himawari and she has the 9 tails instead of it being Naruto.
Yes.
So I'm wondering, maybe he's just a really introspective person. Like he's always looking within.
Also, you got to look into how the Shinjis are all laying here. Mamushi's laying down all like comfortable on his side, and we got Hidari and Jura just chilling. They're straight up chilling next to the block. Like their attitudes here are very important to the scene. So moving on to page 28, we're back to Konohamaru and Matsuri. So here we have Matsuri saying, "My head is so full of thoughts of you, it's driving me batty. Why do I have to have these feelings? It's so painful and makes me crazy mad." And he says, "Hey, calm down." Um, and she says, "Yeah, and that's precisely why. Because if I devoured you, I wouldn't ever have to feel this way again." So is this confirming that she likes this feeling? Is this confirming that the Shinjus like love?
No,
I don't think
I
they
think
like
the
it. I don't
unknown.
think
They don't like it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's fear of the unknown. She doesn't know why and what is this, why it's happening.
So Konohamaru's gonna get killed.
All she knows is do this, and you don't even got to worry about it. You know what this remind me of? Mitsuki. Again, another example as to why the anime is better. But in the anime, I think it was episode 105 or 104, one of the two. It was titled A Wound on the Heart. In that episode, this is after Mitsuki has already left the village, went to the earth, land of earth or whatever, and they thought, oh, he defected. I think that's what it. Yeah, he defected. He went with that fabrications, the clones, right, the ones that Onoki made and to use instead of soldiers. Either way, this is way after that, and he's already repaired because that. Oh my god, he really hit Boruto with a snake thrust or a snake lightning.
Bro, that
Not
broke
a
my
snake
heart
thrust.
rewatching it. Oh
I
my
know, bro.
gosh.
But no, so this is after that, right? He's back in the village. He thinks all is good. All of a sudden, he got it hurts, right? It hurts him. Something is hurting him. He doesn't know what it is. And then, so what he thinks, what does he think he got to do? Oh, I'm going to go to Orochimaru. My parent, not not my mother, not my father, but my parent. And then he says, it hurts right here. And he's pointing to his chest area, symbolizing the heart.
Mhm.
It hurts right here. And then they're like, all right, let's see. They put him under the table or whatever they call it whenever they put him through all those tests. And then Orochimaru comes back like, nah, but physically you're fine. It's something else. And then he's like, oh, what is it? What do I got to do to get rid of it? Orochimaru gives him not really an ultimatum, but he gives him a choice. You could take this drug, right? It's in a cup. He just gives him a cup. You could take this, and it relieves your pain, but it will remove your memories. You will not remember anything no more. It'll wipe your memories, amnesia type, all right? It's the same drug, if y'all didn't know. The same drug that he used every time. I think it was for 5 times. On the 6th try, it was good. But he used that same thing, that same drug, on Mitsuki when he was trying to get him to unlock Sage Mode. That wasn't the actual purpose. The actual purpose was for him to decide on its own Mitsuki to decide on its own. A third option, which ended up being, the photo of the sun, opens a scroll, it's a photo of Boruto. But either way, he says you could take this drug and it'll wipe your memories, but the pain will be gone. Or you don't, and the pain stays there. So he decides, Mitsuki, I'm not going to take it. If it means losing my memories, everything I've ever experienced up until that point, I'm going to deal with this pain. And then he rejects the drug and he lives with the pain. But the pain was from him doing what he just did, defecting the leaf, like Sasuke, betraying the people closest to him, especially Boruto when he hit him with that lightning move, and then also not being able to tell him why for the longest, because it was part of a mission.
Yeah.
Or part of a goal, maybe even some could say. But yeah, they're doing that same thing with her, where she has this option. You could choose. It's the whole, should you choose to accept for Mission Impossible, where you can eat him and then that pain or whatever feeling that you have in you that you don't know, the fear of the unknown, it can subside now if you devour him, or you don't and you still have the feeling. So I think they're doing that same thing where she's going to make a choice, and I hope she does what Mitsuki did, but I don't know.
You hope
continue?
Don't you hope she devours him? I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, obviously we need to see Konohamaru become Hokage. Like I think that's gonna have to happen at some point. It was like episode 2. They confirmed it of Shonen Jump. Anyways, at the bottom of page 29, Jura says each of the Ino Shikacho trio are accomplished shinobi, but they prioritize Himawari's safety over their own terms. What's shocking is that they were all aware of how foolish that decision was, and we look back at that and we do remember Inojin pretty much dying or almost dying. Like, it was a crazy scene. That was just crazy when Jura impaled Inojin. So moving on to page 30, and we do have 11 pages left. Oh, I see there's some comments in the chat. Oh, some memes. Okay. Some Rio memes. So on page 30, Jura continues to talk to Mamushi and Hidari, and he says, in particular, Yamayaka Inojin lost his composure and ended up needlessly losing his life. Exactly what I was just saying. Jura says both of these foolish acts were caused by love, derailing their thinking. And Hidari says, so what is this love thing? Is it a disease? I think that's pretty funny when he says that. And Jura says, the term itself appears in many tomes, but it seems impossible to pin down. At the very least, the fact that it can cause serious trouble in life forms cannot be overlooked. So then it quickly goes back on page 31. We go back to Konohamaru saying to Matsuri, I'm sure you hear it too, our instincts screaming and warning. And he says that we must understand this dangerous concept, love. Or I think, no, Jura's saying that. And it's just showing Moegi acting crazy with Konohamaru. Jura said all that, and he says, and to overcome it. So I guess we have to wait and see what happens with Konohamaru and Matsuri. So on the next page, page 32, we go back to Yodo, Sarada, Mitsuki, and Arya. And Yodo says, I hear something above us. He's up in the sky. And Arya says, get ready. I'll drag him out. And there's Ryu up in the sky. And Arya says, hide all you want, but it's useless. And we see the middle of Ryu, and we see something white coming out of it. And on the next page 34, Ryu literally starts spilling out because of the claw marks all over him, spilling out claw grimes. They just come out of nowhere, straight from his body. Actually, not nowhere. His body, his chest, and his belly. And Arya says, "What?" And Sarada says, "Claw grimes." And Mitsuki sends his snakes to attack the claw grimes. Then Sarada does her Phoenix Flower Jutsu.
Yeah.
And then the next page, 36.
Oh, new jutsu unlocked.
Yes, exactly.
I wonder when she'll learn it. Like, we know she learned it at some point, but when? And will we see that? I do.
It is interesting.
It's really just
yeah.
But how did Itachi learn it again? It was from him practicing. Was he practicing his shuriken jutsu and then just thought about it, or no?
I'm not sure. I guess we just gotta wait and see. But it is a new jutsu unlocked. Yes.
Man, bro, you don't need the anime canon of all the training.
For real. That's what it's there for. So on page 36, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 10 claw grimes. And Mitsuki says, "Damn it, can't get them all." Sarada says, "There are way too many." And we see a bunch of them gang up on Yodo. She slices one of them, and then one bites her shoulder. And Yodo comes and slices it, but I think it's too late because it already bit her. And there's so many, and he's slicing it. And I think his sword got stuck. It seems like his Arya's sword. It looks like the claw grind maybe. Yeah, he says it's stuck, and Ryu pops up and grabs the claw grime, and we just see some fighting here, and it looks like Arya loses his sword. It looks like Ryu pulls that claw grime with the sword stuck and pulls it away from Arya. So he says, "What the? It took my blade with it," and Mitsuki's shocked, and Ryu says he's laughing. He says, or chuckling. He says, "And now you have no way to defend against my iron sand." Yodo just got bit, so I'm assuming Yodo might turn into a claw grime or a Shinju.
Well, we don't
know because it went away. The claw grime went away from her.
Yeah, people say they got latch on.
Yeah,
of the trope that they always do in zombie or apocalypse type movies where a character looks like they got bit. Everything tells us, "Oh, you got bit," but somehow they're like, "No, I'm good. And then later they turn.
Yeah.
You ruined the whole. You dangered all of us talking about something. I'm good. I didn't get bit. And then we see a big ass bite mark on this shit.
So Sarada says, "Crap, this is bad." And then on the very last page 42, Konohamaru, it shows Konohamaru struggling, and Matsuri says, "So let's now become one, Konohamaru-chan." So it seems like Boruto shouldn't go out to, I mean, I don't know. It's like, should Boruto go out to help Sarada and Mitsuki? Or should he go out to help Konohamaru? Or is he not going to go out at all? Or someone's going to die, right? Is someone dying?
No, I don't think somebody's going to die.
Thought about it. So back on the Giotto getting bit, right?
Yeah.
What if it didn't immediately turn? Nah, because then that wouldn't even make sense. Never mind. I'm tripping. I was about to say, what if she didn't immediately turn like the other one, like Soegi? Not Moegi, Soegi. The one that pushed Sarada out the way. And I wonder what Soegi means, because Moegi means something like to do with plants and shit, I'm pretty sure. So I wonder what Soegi means. But either way, whenever that guy pushed Sarada out the way because she almost got bit, he immediately, or not immediately, but pretty fast, he started turning. But now with Yodo, she got bit. It looked like maybe for a couple seconds he had a hold, and then
almost,
or the claw grime had a hold, and then it didn't immediately turn like the other ones. So I wonder why.
So Tads said, nah, the clawgrams need to turn into a tree around Yodo. It doesn't just work off a bite. Tana thinks that the clawgrams that bit Yodo is probably already turned to Shinju, but I think it's most likely not.
Wait, what if when he try to slice him and like stop the I was about to say animation like this is a game or something, but like you gotta when they turn into a tree, but him putting the sword like he was about to turn into the tree, the clawgram was about to turn into the tree, and that's why the sword got stuck.
Also,
well, they wouldn't be sand, right? They're not iron sand, so it wouldn't.
No, but it's like the claw
a
grind.
direct counter to
it's
it.
The body of the claw grind probably like reattached.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're not iron
by the
sand,
way,
and this is used for iron sand. So that's why I think it's not a sealing, to something. It's a dispelling type seal.
Yeah. So
which would make
Victoria put in the chat a meme they found from TikTok, and it shows Hidari saying, "So what is this love thing? Is it a disease?" And then the next panel is like showing Hidari meeting Sarada or Sakura. My bad. Hidari meeting Sakura. What do you think about that? You think if Hidari met Sakura, things might change, or he'll go crazy? Hidari's gonna go lose it.
I mean, when he first seen Sarada,
well, we know his target is Sarada.
When he first seen Sarada, he tried to hit her with Ichidori, and he got cooked.
And some people were, I remember when that happened, some people were like, "Oh, look, it's the first encounter again," because whenever they first encountered between Sasuke and Sarada, not Hidari and Sarada, he too was ready to attack. He didn't know it was Sarada because he thought it was a Shin clone, one of the little ones, and for some reason they just look different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say this before because I already know people are gonna blow this out of proportion before if I don't get this off. So at the end, right, Boruto clutching his sword. It looks like he's anxious to do something, right? I gotta do something. And y'all were saying like, who are they gonna save? Konohamaru, who's in grave threat right now, or in grave danger, or Team 7, or well, really just Mitsuki, Sarada, Arya, Yodo. And I don't know if they're gonna do a this or that, or if they're doing a help or no help, right? So this or that would be like the Dark Knight. In the Dark Knight, or in one of the Batman movies, I forget which one, but in that trilogy, there's this part where there's two people on a boat, right? Or two groups of people on a boat. It's some civilians and it's some prisoners. One of the boat, or both of the boats have a bomb in it, right? So they're in danger. They also have the detonator, and they get told, you can press this button and you save yourself, but you destroy the other one, right? And then they had this whole little thing of, oh, they haven't pressed it, so that means that they're trying to help us or whatever. They're not trying to press it either, even though they're prisoners, and they're doing this whole morality thing. So it's not too much similar like it, but it's like Boruto has to pick, right? Either his sensei or his friends, right? His teammates and the other teammates. It's the trolley problem. I think it could be the trolley problem. The trolley problem, we all know. You save one, you kill five. You kill five, or you save five, you kill one. And I just want people to, whatever it is, right, that happens next in the next chapter, in the 100th chapter of Boruto, just don't be mad at Boruto. He's doing the best he can. All right. Especially for the people that are talking bad about Konohamaru as of late. Especially as of late. So if he saves the Konohamaru and lets the other people, you better not Or if he does the opposite and he saves them and doesn't let Konohamaru, you better not, right? Or if this is not a trolley problem scenario, which it shapes out to look like it is, and this is actually a tornado problem. You know, the tornado in Man of Steel with Superman? I always like to compare Superman, specifically Man of Steel Superman, and obviously BVS because that's the sequel. I always like to compare him and Boruto because they're so much alike, and they would be very good friends. They would have the same mindset, all that, right? So in Man of Steel, this is one of the pivotal moments that people misunderstand, whether it's intentional or not, doesn't matter. They still misunderstand it. So when the tornado happens, it forms on the road, everybody's stuck in traffic, and they have to get out and evacuate from the area. They go under the overpass, and then, which in real life that would not work. Just want to say, but either way, because the underpass, you would just get scooped up out of there because of the way the wind would flow. But either way, so there's this part where Superman, or at least before he was Superman, Clark Kent, who has powers, has to either decide, save my father or stay pat and not jeopardize everything he and I have worked for, right? And that part is with Kashin Koji, with Boruto. Kashin Koji is telling you, do not help, no matter what. You cannot jeopardize you. It's the same thing that Clark's dad, I guess, told him, where he's like, don't help. The world is not ready for what you are and what that means, right? Because we all know what happens if they get Clark, if they find out Clark has powers. You know, he's going to be taken up by the government. He's going to be experimented on. His life is going to be bad. And at worst, he'll turn into a weapon for the government. So that's what he was trying to prevent, right? Same with Kashin Koji. He is trying to prevent the worst possible outcome, the worst possible future that at least he knows, and he warns Boruto about. So he's telling him, do not do it, no matter what. It don't matter what happens else, right? That's why he was so willing to give up his own life to protect that secret of Clark having powers. And he just does a little wave. He does the hand gesture. And he says no. He shakes his head. And then phew, he gets killed, right? Or, well, he dies. Nobody kills him. The tornado does. So then Clark is thinking back on that, right? He thinks back on it, and then it comes back to the present day because all that was a flashback of that tornado sequence. And then he asks the female lead, right, Lois Lane, what do you think I should have done? So when Boruto decides or doesn't decide to help, and decides to help who or doesn't decide to help who, right? He's asking y'all, what should I have done? Because I did what I thought was best. So if he does either help, one or the other, or if he doesn't help either of them at all, and he has to stick it through because Koji told him, I just don't want people to misunderstand that scene or this scene coming up and start lying about it and start misconstruing Boruto's character. That's just a little thing I want to leave it off with. Whatever Boruto does, just remember he thinks that's what is in the best interest of right now. Because he cannot see the future. He doesn't know what's going to happen. And Koji, if he really was a good guy, not like a good guy as in villain or hero, but a good guy in morality, he should let him in on it. Because there are already singularities, right? Anybody who knows the future can't act like they didn't know the future already. So, really, if anybody should be getting hate for if anything happens in the next chapter, if somebody dies, if Konohamaru gets bit and turned into a tree, like how she said, we'll turn into one. What's that even mean? But if that happens, Koji is to blame. We're not playing the blame game, but Koji is to blame, and we're not putting that blame for damn sure on Boruto. All right, that's it.
All right,
That's
thank
all
you,
I
Watch
wanted to
Boruto.
Yep.
So that comes to the end of the Chapter 19 review. I want to thank everyone who showed up. I want to thank Watch Boruto for co-hosting, Boruto fan for showing up, and a special thanks to Assad. Shout out to Assad. You're the man for letting all this happen and helping build something for the community. So we do have a website, BorutoPodcast.com. We are on Spotify and YouTube. So once we upload the podcast to the website, it goes straight to Spotify and YouTube. This recording will also go there when I get around to it. We are looking to have more hosts maybe in the future if anyone else is interested. And we are part of the Boruto Club. So we have different outlets there. We have the Two Blue Vortex Discord, Boruto Colored website, the podcast, and more. So like Boruto fans TikTok is also on there if you go to boruto.club. And yeah, so thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for coming to our first X Space. And we do host podcasts in our Discord. The link is in the Boruto podcast bio for the invite for the Discord. We do host podcasts there. We also schedule them there. And we will start hosting them here as well. So we'll do them on Discord and X. Make sure you follow us on the Boruto podcast here on X, because I'll just post a schedule here on X so you guys will know. And actually, I'll just schedule it throughout the community like I did this time. So thank you everyone for showing up, and I'll catch you guys later.